Hi, everyone, and welcome back to ANZ with Purpose. And those of you that know me, you know that on this channel, I always bring a special guest. And today I am super excited with whom I'm going to be able to introduce you to her. Sorry, I got all completely confused because I'm super excited she's here. But those that don't know who I am, my name is Andrea and I own an online business. I'm a mom and I'm a sister, I'm a wife, and I have 4 kids. And I guess that's all about it. I'm completely, as you can tell, usually I just go straight into it. And here I'm completely lost at words. So what I will do is I will actually bring Rachel on. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. As you can tell, I am so happy that you are here. Even my intro went all upside down and I didn't know what to say and whatnot. But that's okay, you know.
It was great. It was great. It was natural. It was authentic. It was great.
Yeah, exactly. At least, everybody knows I don't learn this by heart and none of us do. We just go with the flow, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know what? Before we start, why don't we actually find out who you are? I welcome you and tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrea. It's a pleasure to be here. As Andrea said, my name is Rachel. I am 37 years old. I live in Vancouver, BC in Canada. And I've been doing this business now for almost 4 years, which is incredible. Before this, I did real estate for over 8 years. So I was helping people buy and sell properties. And I had some amazing clients. I really loved some things about the career, but there were also things that I didn't love. So I worked a lot of evenings and weekends. I just didn't have the time freedom that I wanted in my life. And so I just got to the point where I was like, I have to look for something else. I have to see if there's something else out there that could suit us better. Like my partner and I would love to travel. We love to, obviously we haven't done much recently, more local stuff, but we want that freedom to be able to run our businesses anywhere in the world and be able to move around and be flexible. And this business just checked all the boxes. So when I found it, I watched the workshop and I was excited and I jumped right in.
Yeah, it's so nice to actually hear everything you have to say, because I remember when we were younger, we all just thought we had to finish school and just, concentrate on getting a job and everything. Mm-hmm. But what happens with that, at least for myself, I found that there was a lot of freedom that was taken away, and not because we don't want to work, but in today's world, we have to work, we have to make money in order to be able to obtain things that we need, even basic things like food and water and such things, right? Today's world functions with money. So
true.
I'm also so happy that I found this business, because it pretty much gives an opportunity to find another way to get that economic part going, right? And mm-hmm. we can get our needs met while we also have freedom, and we can actually do what we really, really love doing. So you already mentioned that you were in real estate. I know someone who was in real estate, but who's retired by now. And real estate, I was also proposed the same kind of a position, right? Job. And the reason I never wanted to do it is because I was scared to be self-employed, because basically that's what it is. But there's so much more to it. Maybe you can go a little bit more into depth, because I know you sometimes have to work till midnight, right? When you're signing contracts.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have to stay.
Yeah, if you think about most people, they work a 9-to-5 job. So when they're not working, they want to go see properties, right? So
yes,
it was driving around, coordinating showings. There were lots of things. I mean, you wear a lot of hats when you're a real estate agent. There's lots of contract writing, lots of strata documents, lots of details, and lots of liability. You're making
and you don't
good money.
Think of that, yes, because you think real estate is this fancy, person selling a house, but there is so much, even heavy lifting going in there, like definitely. Physically heavy lifting, like if you do staging, depends, right?
And I did that. Yeah, I staged my own properties too.
Right. So it is really heavy lifting. And, since then, so you said you joined about approximately 4 years ago. And so your life then and your life now, how would you be able to compare it in addition to already what you mentioned that you had the freedom?
Yeah,
Or you
for
have the
sure.
freedom?
Well, I think I was in this business for about 6 months while I was still doing real estate, and I phased that out. And then, oh, I don't know if I lost you or if you're still there. There you
No.
are. Okay.
I just brought you in. I zoomed in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we
So I
see
was
you.
doing real estate, and I was also doing this business. And so I was juggling the two. I didn't have a lot of time to commit to this business in the beginning because I was still very busy with real estate. But then I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I want to invest all of my time into this business because I saw the potential. And so then, I phased out real estate. I quit. I was able to devote a lot more time to this business and to learning. And, we do our training. The training took me at least a few weeks to do at the time. And everybody has their own pace, right?
Exactly.
So now, my partner and I, we both work online. So we are able to really craft our day. I did have some flexibility in real estate as well, but for the first 5 years in my real estate business, I didn't travel at all. I didn't take any vacations. Maybe I would take a staycation for a few days, but I never went and traveled anywhere because I was so focused on building my business in real estate. It's a tough go, especially in the beginning when you're building your network and all of that stuff. So with this business, I followed the training. I learned everything that I needed to know. I had amazing support. And then, I had the flexibility. So we wake up when we want to. We don't have to necessarily wake up to an alarm clock. We we start our day, have our coffee. We do some work online. We go do activities. We go for tons of hikes. We love to hike and be outdoors and go kayaking and do lots of things like that. So we have the ability to decide what we're doing, as opposed to, when you're in real estate, your clients do decide your schedule to some extent.
And I would even say maybe anyone who's self-employed, like my next door neighbor, he's in construction, he's self-employed, and I see he's so tired. Like sometimes it's not even the fact that a person doesn't have a job and they're self-employed, because I think before that's what we thought we had as options, right? If you want to have some freedom, you better be like a freelancer or self-employed. But even that, I think it just has so much some kind of a burden, heaviness to it, that it's very hard to get out of that cycle, right? And sometimes even then, when you're a freelancer or self-employed, you end up working even more hours than when you work for someone else.
It's true, definitely. And I know people that own franchises and that own restaurants, for an example. And it's their life. Literally, they, everything revolves around that business. That's the same for a lot of brick and mortar businesses, because we actually have a lot of people in our community who have owned brick and mortar businesses. And it is, you have to immerse yourself in it to be successful. You do all of the, you do your bookkeeping sometimes, you do your, you have your hiring, you're paying employees, you have inventory. There's a lot of things depending on what the business is, of course, but it's a more than a full-time job for a lot of people.
And I think even with that, you don't even get a staycation, right?
Maybe not. Probably not. It depends on the business, but probably not.
Exactly. But it is, I would think it's really hard. And what I'm trying to do is really highlight in the business that you and I, we both own each to ourselves, like what is it that the reality of really something that we are used to, and we were told in school that is really what we are almost expected to do, like to fit into the little box, right? But we're doing something that's outside that little box. And maybe you can touch up on a little bit as to what is it that you, in addition, obtained from this business. I would say maybe some kind of a transformation that you have felt that you got from this that you didn't get from real estate or anything else that you do.
Well, there's a lot of differences, I would say, but in our business, we have automation, right? So we have this system that is set up for us that we can leverage, and that really allows us to actually have the time and the financial freedom, right? Because you can make all the money in the world, but if you don't have time to enjoy it, what's the point? Life is short. I always say this. And so the automation, the fact that we're all in this community, we're all building our businesses separately, but we're building them together. And, we have so many tools. Our training is incredible, and it teaches you exactly how to build your business, to use all of these systems to build it more efficiently and effectively, and not have to invest so much time. So a lot of people, when they start their business, for me, I started with 1 to 2 hours a day when I started my business. Now I'm a coach, so it's a little bit more. It's, 3, 4, sometimes 5 hours. It depends though, right? Like it really is what you want to put into your business. And it's so flexible for everybody. So there's people that started this business, they had 3 jobs, and then they're coming in, and some people say, oh, I couldn't do this business with 3 jobs. But that person that did that, they had this powerful why and a powerful reason that they wanted to do this. And with this business, you're creating a legacy for your kids, your family, your loved ones. There's a lot of reasons that people come into this business, and maybe they love their job, but they just haven't been making the income that they want. And so they want to supplement to create a better lifestyle for themselves and the people that they care about. So there's so many positive things that I've gained from this business. I have experienced huge personal growth, and I'm sure that you have experienced that too.
The same.
So many people say that in our community.
You wouldn't think you open, like, let's say, because I looked into franchising, right? Let's say if you're opening a franchise, or if you're thinking to start an online business, did you even think that you would have that change in yourself, in your personality, the way you come across? I've changed in such a positive and strong way that I was not expecting it, but it's a given with this particular, I don't know what it is about this particular business. It's just a fact. And I know everybody says that, and everybody is just so surprised that, because starting something new is very scary.
It can be.
We don't know what we are doing, and where am I supposed to go, and what am I supposed to click, or whatever. What is the next step, right? So it is very scary and overwhelming and very exciting. But once all that dies down and you're like, okay, now I'm in it, I have a business, what do I do now? Well, without realizing, the people that we are surrounded with, they help us in such a way and give us such tips, and I don't even know how to describe it. You just end up changing. You become
this person. Well, I think
your perspective changes.
Yeah, it reminds me of that, the people that you kind of associate yourself with, you become like them, right? And so our community is so positive. They're so focused on learning and growing and open-minded to, the possibilities that exist out there. And you have to be open-minded to start this business, because if you are, stuck in your ways, and you are, convinced that this is the only way to do something, then maybe you're not going to venture into the online world, right? Because a lot of people think they see all these opportunities, they think it's not possible for me. But then if you think about it, it's not far-fetched, because we do literally everything online these days, and we're doing more and more and more online these days, right? So paying our bills, doing our grocery shopping, you name it, we do all of it online. So to have an online business is not far-fetched, and it's accessible to everyday people because of this system. It takes out that complicated factor that, because I tried a couple of other businesses before this one online, and I failed. And so I was actually pretty concerned that I couldn't do this. But then this one was so different from the other ones.
Yes, I find it too. It's really, it's amazing. It's like, I lost my thought. I know I wanted to say something, but who cares? Maybe it will come back. But yeah, I really find it very useful and helpful. And yes, I know what I wanted to say. You were saying, or maybe what I wanted to add to it, we don't really need a certain set of skills in order to start this online business. And I don't know, not all are the same. I haven't explored all of them. It's just impossible, because there are so many out there. But I have looked into few, right? And just sometimes when you see a concept, a particular concept, and when it speaks to you, you know it. You don't necessarily know why it fits you. Just like I did a video recently, and I think I was just explaining something about colors. Like when you like a particular color, you cannot say why you love it. You just love it and you want to wear it, and that's what you have, right? You cannot explain why you don't like the other one. But I think it's the same with this particular business as well. It's like there is something in it for everybody. It's not for everybody, but every single person could do it. Like if
Yeah.
somebody has that will and that desire to change, this is it. This is just mind blowing. Like I think we can now come to
Yeah.
the point to just actually invite everybody, right, to this particular information session that we have on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And today's Tuesday, right?
Today's
So
Tuesday.
it is tonight in about in less than 2 hours, right? So it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. It is really only 90 minutes of your investment of the people that are watching that will be interested, right? Because we really have, watching that, we have no risk, no cost, and no obligation. But actually, we become so much smarter, and we get educated onto what business is available out there, and this is one of them. And then we can decide ourselves if this is for us or not. Because you mentioned a restaurant. I love mentioning restaurants as well. Not everybody's made for, to be a chef. Not everybody's made to be a real estate agent. Not everybody's made to be, what are they called? The stewardesses and to work at the airports, because you have to remember all those codes for the cities, I think, by heart. Not everybody's made to be a lawyer, right? And not everybody's made to be a truck driver. You just can't, right? So really, like, this is simply just for anyone and whoever is interested. It's only 90 minutes, no hard feelings, but it's really something amazing. So, and I would be here to answer any questions. Rachel is available if anyone has any questions. Anything else you would like to tell us before we go?
I would just say check it out. I mean, you have nothing to lose. It's just information, like you said, Andrea, and it isn't for everyone, just like you said, but it can be for anyone. And so, our community is proof. It's over 90,000 people all over the world. We are global. And, this is proof that it can work for anybody. And, I always think back to this quote that I read, and it was talking about how we're professional excuse makers, because we are so good at coming up with excuses for every single thing. It's innate. It's something in us, And so there's so many people that probably could make, like, they could come up with a list of reasons why they wouldn't be able to do this business. But then their why and their family makes them think, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to create something better for my family. And so they overcome all of those reasons and all of those excuses why everybody else says that they can't do the business, right? And so I think, we just have to figure out if it's important to us. What do we want in our life? What are we willing to do to get that? And are we willing to listen to a 90-minute free information session that, at least we're going to walk away with some more knowledge about how the online world works? We're going to hear people from all around the world that are doing this business and having amazing success. And it's really incredible. So I watched it a few times when I first saw it, and it really inspired me. And I had failed at those 2 other online businesses before.
Oh, yes.
But after I heard these people talking, and I heard, that they were from all different walks of life, teachers and nurses and, caregivers and truck drivers and firefighters, like all different people. I was like, if this can work for them, then this can definitely work for me. And so you have to, it all starts with that first step, which is registering for the workshop. And sometimes, like you said, that's the hardest step, but you'll never know.
Because it's scary, because it's like, we have access and we are almost like bombarded all over the place with all these opportunities and all sorts of other things, right? It doesn't have to be businesses, but we get so many times we get asked, oh, fill out this form, and, but, and it's very hard, but really starts with a decision and then an action. And then just go and invest the 90 minutes. That's the investment, time, nothing else. And then after that, at least you leave with something that you have learned, right? Because, and I like to say that video, which is actually a live session, or if it's not live, then it's recorded. But those 90 minutes, I like to say it's like the start of the training, right?
Yeah.
Because consider it, you're already starting your online business. That's the first step, because we all have to start with particular steps. We can't skip steps in anything in life. Doesn't matter what it is, right? You couldn't skip steps in school, right?
I mean, not that I know of.
Right? No, well, you had to prove, if you wanted to skip, you had to prove where you were at, right? Or it's the same thing. I can't remember, Rachel, if you do any sports. I cannot remember if I saw before that you ran. Are you a
Yes.
runner?
I used to run longer distances. Like I have run an ultra marathon. I don't do it anymore. I just run shorter distances now.
I ran 2 marathons, right?
Did you? Nice.
So yeah, I did Berlin and Amsterdam. So it's the
Wow.
same thing when you're preparing for this race. There is no way you can skip a step there, right?
You have to do the training. The training is actually what it's all about. If you don't do that training and you're not committed every single week, then when it comes to race day, you're in big trouble.
Yes, I did Berlin. That was my first. I was so well prepared, training and everything was perfect. I finished so strong, didn't hit the wall, right?
Yeah.
Amsterdam, life happened, but I went because I paid, but I didn't train. So I finished it though. But to me, like, that marathon is a very good analogy to explain this is how life happens as well. And this is how it is in this business too. You have to work, you have to train, you have to do all that before you actually get to that particular goal, which is crossing the finish line, right?
Definitely.
You and I, we can go on and on forever.
I'm sure we could.
But thank you so much, Rachel. You have provided a lot of valuable information. I really appreciate your time. And we're going to see you hopefully again.
Definitely.
I'll reach out to you, and I wish you a nice rest of the day, because over there where you are, it's 3 o'clock. 3:30.
It's 3:20. Yeah. 3:30.
Okay.
Let's round up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Take care. Bye, guys.
There you go. So thank you, everybody who was watching. I did forget to go through the comments. So I did have few comments here. Zvonko was here. Thank you, Zvonko. Wanda has come by, and she has, growth is inevitable in this business. Exactly. And great content. Thank you so much, Wanda. I interviewed Wanda, I believe it was last Thursday. So thank you very much. And Rachel, I again appreciate your time and appreciate the time of the viewers. If you're watching a replay, let me know, post questions here. I'm going to come back and reply to you. And that's it. I'm going to leave you with that. I thank everybody for their time, and I wish everybody a nice evening. Take care. Bye-bye.